Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're coming in from. Thank you for joining my session today. We're going to be talking about getting started with Microsoft Viva Topics. My name is Jeff Gellman. I am a solution architect and modern work lead for Nudesic. And I'm just going to come off camera real quick because I'm going to be basically looking away from the camera onto my second screen as we present here. So thank you. All right, so a little bit about myself. I have been in the consulting business for quite a number of years, almost exclusively in the Microsoft technology space. Again, as I mentioned, I'm a solution architect as well as the modern work practice lead for Nudesic, and whole number of various certifications that you see here, including Microsoft certified trainer. My LinkedIn profile, Twitter handle, and the Nudesic website, all QR codes here. Again, my pleasure to be here. I've spoken at a number of these M365 Philly sessions since they've been virtual, and prior to that, the SharePoint Saturdays in Philly, as well as some SharePoint Saturdays in New York as well. Real quick, a little bit about Nudesic, the company I work for. We are a company that's been around a little more than 20 years. I've been very closely aligned with Microsoft in that period of time, received a number of Partner of the Year awards, as well as a number of gold competencies, top tier partner with Microsoft in the various solution areas that we cover. Our cloud infrastructure services group, application innovation, data and AI and strategy, working with integration and APIs, hyper automation, the modern workplace, that's the area that I lead, the business transformation and strategy, and our business applications services. So please, if you want to learn more about Nudesic, go visit us at our website, nudesic.com. Want to give a shout out to Synology for being our sponsor today and providing one of the raffle gifts that will be coming at the end of this presentation, or at the end of the day when we draw the raffle. So real quick, our agenda, we're going to go through a Viva Topics overview. We're going to be talking about extending Viva Topics, and then we'll dive into a demo. There'll be a kind of a two-part demo. Some will be within the framework of the presentation itself, and then we'll go ahead and do a live demo as well. We'll talk about some common scenarios for using Viva Topics, as well as how to go about and get started, and then we'll open up the floor for any questions. Just as a side note, the Q&A panel is open during the period of time that we are presenting here. I think chat has been disabled. So if you do have a question during the course of the presentation, please put it into the Q&A, and the moderator will get to that question in due time. So let's dive right in and talk about Viva Topics. But kind of wanted to give an overall picture real quick of the all-up Viva Suite. That's the Viva being Microsoft's employee experience platform. There are a number of different components that comprise of what Viva is. You can see here, there's as far as connecting, we've got Viva Engage and Viva Amplify. Viva Engage has more recently released. Viva Amplify will be coming very shortly. From an insight perspective, Viva Insights and Viva Pulse. Viva Pulse will be coming shortly. Most recently introduced as far as the big modules, Viva Goals, and the one we'll be talking about today, Viva Topics. That goes alongside the Viva Learning in the growth category. There's more specific types of Viva modules for specific types of roles, and you can see the role-based experience there for Viva Sales. And all of these are served up through the M365 or Microsoft 365 platform, the various tools being Teams, Outlook, SharePoint, Yammer, etc. So just wanted to kind of give just an overall picture of Viva before we kind of jump into topics. So when we talk to our customers about the work that they do with content and knowledge, four major trends type of rise. First and foremost, people are inundated with unclassified information, and going through all that content, reading it, and adding the proper tags is a waste and a low value use of employees' time. The second point is around knowledge loss. There is so much information, it can be hard to get back to, which could be due to the lack of correct security and compliance. This causes an over-reliance on search, which is challenging when knowing exactly when and what to search for is the problem for most people. And finally, moving from tool to tool and spending time looking for information that you know already exists causes not only a drain in productivity, but for most people, it's also very frustrating. So taking a look at those problems that we just showed before, so what is the solution for that? And this is kind of where Viva Topics comes in, because it allows you to connect people to knowledge and expertise in the apps that people use every day, and we call that within the flow of work. Automatically categorize the content that's out there and be able to automate the processes for getting and categorizing that content. It also provides the ability to discover that content and share and collaborate on multiple different content types all across the organization. And lastly, and a big one, of course, is protecting and managing that content to improve the overall security and compliance piece of it. And that's why Microsoft created Viva Topics. Viva Topics applies AI technology to empower people with knowledge and expertise in the apps that they use every day. Topics automatically organizes content and expertise across the systems into related topics like projects, products, processes, and customers. With topics pages and the topic center, experts within your organization can share knowledge with like a wiki-like type of simplicity. So Viva Topics builds on Microsoft 365 and applies AI to identify knowledge and experts from across your organization and categorize them into shared topics. The AI not only organizes knowledge into topics, it automatically creates topics pages for each of these topics. These topics pages are edited and approved by experts within your organization and kept up to date by the AI. Think of it like Wikipedia for the enterprise, where AI does the first draft. And what's so powerful is that the AI surfaces these topics as topics cards right within the Teams, SharePoint, and Office. So if you hover over an acronym or even a project name, you get an immersive topic card that you can click onto to get more details about that specific topic. Because Viva Topics automatically organizes content across your teams and systems to connect topics like projects, processes, and customers, information is ready when and where you need it. Experts at the company can also help curate the information shown in topics by sharing knowledge through simple, highly customizable websites called topics pages, and we'll demonstrate that as we go along. Along with content from Microsoft's apps and services, Topics also services information from third-party services such as ServiceNow, and Graph Connectors make it easy to connect to even more content employees would find helpful. Viva provides the privacy, security, and compliance you would expect from Microsoft 365, so you can trust the sensitive content is protected. And lastly, according to research done by Forrester, conservative estimates suggest that this could save employees between 1 and 3 hours each week, just by reducing the time people spend searching for information. So Viva Topics comes with powerful controls to allow you to shape the delivery of knowledge within your organization. It's based on top of Microsoft Search. So if information is not being indexed in Microsoft Search, it's not going to be shared from Viva Topics. You can also introduce a block list for certain topics that you may not want to be generated under any circumstances. The second set of controls relate to topic visibility. By default, topics are designed to be seen by a broad audience of licensed users. You have the option of limiting that default visibility to all topics or to only published topics, and individual topics respect the permissions of the underlying content. You can also assign further permissions to restrict people's ability to review highly sensitive topics that still need to be made available to a control group. And we'll demonstrate how this is done when we go through how to set up Viva Topics. So the types of roles of people who would be interacting with and utilizing topics vary. So everyone has a role in delivering knowledge to an organization for Viva Topics. Once licensed, anyone can discover information through Viva Topics in the apps that they use every day. Subject matter experts or topic contributors can curate the people, experts, and resources on topic pages and make sure that the information is of a high quality. Adding their own skills and expertise to what the AI has discovered is also another feature of what Viva Topics brings. So knowledge managers oversee the overall topics that are set up in Viva, and they can perform basic tasks such as creating, editing, deleting, and rejecting proposed topics. Finally, knowledge administrators are typically in a role responsible for licensing, security, and compliance. All of these roles come together to help drive knowledge discovery through the organization. And I talked about that people need to be licensed, as we've shown in that previous slide, and was mentioned actually in the previous presentation prior to this one. The Viva products or modules, for the most part, need to be licensed. There is an all-up Viva Suite license that one can get that would be inclusive of all the Viva modules. There are some parts of Viva that are available with your standard enterprise licensing, but Viva Topics is not one of those. So Viva Topics is one that you would need to have licenses for in order to utilize it. So what comes with Viva Topics? So really what's driving it is the people in AI, and what's available in the product today. First off, the administration configuration. And this is where the admin that we just talked about when we were going through the roles can control what SharePoint sites are going to be indexed for topics. They can also control who can view, create, and edit and manage the topics, as well as provision the default topic center. And the topic center is a SharePoint page, and we'll get to see that as we go through the demos as well. The ability to identify topics, that AI engine is also what's shipping in the product today. It allows the AI suggested description and alternative names for the topics, files, pages, and sites that are good resources to learn about the topic and relationships to people who have contributed. The ability to manage those topics, and this will go across multiple roles, to be able to view all topics that you specifically as an individual have access to from a management point of view. You can also triage topics. Basically, what the AI engine will serve up, you have the ability to confirm those, to edit those, or even remove those topics. And you can view topics where you are suggested as an individual. So say you worked on a particular document, the AI engine would then identify you as somebody who worked on that document and maybe specifically related to a topic. So you'll get to see that as well as get back to the topics where you know that you can contribute knowledge yourself. Then human contribution is a big piece. As mentioned earlier, much like a Wikipedia kind of thing, the AI is kind of the first draft of the topic. And then you as an individual, if you have the permissions, you can contribute to that topic. You can edit what the AI has done. You can actually enhance it with your additional information. You can give feedback on that helpfulness of the AI by making suggestions. You can share context and knowledge by referencing topics directly in a SharePoint page. And last thing, we'll demonstrate this, how you can add connected topics to the network visualization web part that's part of the topics page. And lastly, the topics discovery. And this is the main engine behind what Viva Topics is. And this is to automatically identify topics using that AI engine so they can be provided within Viva Topics itself, and return the topic summary as a response to a query within Microsoft Search. And this will be part of our demo as well. So as we mentioned before, the highest quality of knowledge in most organizations comes from blending the power of the AI with the expertise and content that you as an individual have within your organization. We often say management is knowledge management is a team sport. So it's important to include as many people as possible in this, not just the knowledge managers who set up and administer the system, and not just the experts who help review and curate information, but including end user feedback. Everyone can participate in continually improving the quality of your collective knowledge. So you can see here on the left-hand side in our Planet Blue topic card, when this would pop up, an individual will be shown, is Planet Blue relevant in this particular context? And you have the yes, no response there. And whatever you choose to respond, the AI engine uses that and will help improve what's being shown for a particular topic, and really help kind of drive additional topics as they come forward. So this is where that personal interaction comes into play. So Viva Topics combines different machine learning models and technology investments from across Microsoft's product and research group. This includes various statistical machine learning models that use frequency and recency for identifying topics and their properties. Template-based pattern discovery is used to identify acronyms, alternate names, and untyped topics. For extracting phrases and topics, representation learning creates embeddings of heterogeneous entities. Models have been developed to cluster related topics, conflate similar topics, and disambiguate between topics. Cross-lingual language model pre-training and fine-tuning and a universal model for language expansion help to extract and refine acronyms and definitions. And lastly, graph-based technologies are used to model relationships and importance in order to infer connections between people and topics. So the technology we're talking about is technology that's not available in Azure Cognitive Services. This is more just as it's been built within the Microsoft Graph for use within Viva Topics itself. So knowledge indexing is based on items available in the Microsoft search. The suggested topics are identified from content such as files and pages, and the properties are enriched from using the Microsoft Graph. This process starts by identifying the topic name. Using the same files and pages, it extracts acronym, alternate names, or definitions for that topic. Related people are identified based on their contribution and activity to the files and pages as understood through the Microsoft Graph. And related documents are displayed based on their relevancy to the topic. The related documents are more than search results for the topic string. The goal is to show documents that can provide an overview or better understanding of what the topic is. And the magic is to use connections between the topic and its people and content to relate to other topics. This capability lights up the possibilities to find and explore people and content related to the work that you are doing. Once the knowledge is indexed, a topic can be detected in context to the text around it. In this image that you see here, you can see the word SOAR has been detected on the SharePoint page. So you've got SOAR at the top, you can see, and I'll just hover my mouse over it here, where SOAR is the highlighted word on my page. And when I hover over it, it will bring up this topics card here. It's got the topic identification and conflation, the acronym and alternate name extraction, the definition extraction, the related people, and the related documents. So one of the questions we're often asked is, can Viva Topics work with content other than SharePoint? The short answer is yes. So with Microsoft Graph Connectors, the organization can index third-party data so it appears in Microsoft search results and therefore can also be utilized by Viva Topics and Viva Topics pages. So with some ideas of connectors that are out there, and there's a number of them, and we'll touch base on this in the next section as well when we talk about enhancing Microsoft Viva. ServiceNow is one that comes to mind that people utilize a lot. So a couple of things you should know up front before you get started with Viva Topics. First and foremost, Viva Topics does best with active usage and at least 20,000 documents. So tests and trials with 5 or 10 documents may not yield a very rich set of information. Microsoft needs a good bit of activity to let the AI engine find what it needs inside of the graph and to generate high quality information. So the bottom line is Viva Topics was built to scale. So again, it's not for a small organization where there's a small amount of content that's out there. Really, the best result you're going to get from the AI engine is going to come from having a large amount of content. And for small businesses, you can also get great results as long as you have that enough content that's active in your system to let the AI find that knowledge for you. It's important to understand that Viva Topics was not built for personal use. Viva Topics was really designed for shared knowledge in the organization. A couple of tips here. The more content you have, the better knowledge you'll find. Secondly, Viva Topics doesn't move your content, nor does it change the security about them. all of the controls you have in place are preserved throughout the Viva Topics and Viva Topics pages and cards supplied by Viva. Only licensed users get to see Viva Topics, as I had mentioned previously. Another question we get a lot is, how many topic centers do I get per organization? You have one topic center that everyone can come to in order to find the maximum range of information available to them through the enterprise. So kind of planning for rollout, there's multiple different phases that you're kind of going to go through this. So when you're just starting out, you want to determine what business scenarios that you're looking for, mainly, if you want to start off with a pilot, and what the success criteria looks like in the timelines. And you want to identify that content, map that critical content that you want to look for that are out there. And certainly assigning the roles. And we went through those various roles to identify and train who those knowledge managers will be, and perform that initial topic discovery and that first curation of topics. Once you move out of that kind of start phase and into a pilot, you want to release the topics end user experience to a pilot group, expand the number of topics contributors by giving them create and edit access, and have that operationalized approach to topic management and governance. And certainly, as you're rolling this out, you want to develop the communications required to launch the topics at scale, so people begin to do it. And then lastly, once you come out of pilot and begin distributing it through the rest of the organization, expanding the management of topics to various business units, expanding the group of topics viewers to all licensed users, and consider broader crowdsourcing, and develop methods for prioritization of curation of activities. This is, again, just kind of how you would go ahead and planning for rollout. So now we're going to talk about how Viva Topics can be extended. So there's lots of ways that you can extend topics today. First, you can customize a topic center. Viva Topics was built in SharePoint, so all the power of themes, designs, and suggestions that Microsoft has created with their SharePoint lookbook can be extended to the topic center. Second, you can build additional components to a richer topics page utilizing web parts, adaptive card technologies that can be built with the SharePoint framework. The third way to extend topics is to bring knowledge from outside of Microsoft the 365 graph. Customer graph-based content connectors allow you to connect to over 100 external data sources, or you can use Microsoft's API to connect to your own sources if it isn't published yet. Finally, you can build new applications based on the knowledge base stored inside of the graph and through Viva Topics. So this on this screen, I'm kind of showing how on a page, and we'll show you this again in a demo, how you can customize that topics page, that user experience, by adding in additional branding, additional look and feel. And this is kind of, I'll just go back and forth here. This is what it looks like, just kind of out of the box. And I can actually enhance it with some of my own information. I've just added in some web parts here, and you can see now we have a completely different look to this. Again, third-party data powering the graph. So some things such as ServiceNow, as I had mentioned, these kind of graph connectors that are out there allow you to get into some other third-party data that can be brought into the search index, which at that point would then make it available for Viva Topics. And of course, today you can use Microsoft Syntax, which was covered in an earlier session today, and its APIs to enrich the content that you have for Viva Topics. Being able to look at structured or unstructured data to automatically set security and compliance policies and pull rich tags out of that, you can then consume into topics pages and deliver them through topics cards. So now I want to take some time to kind of jump into a demo. And as I mentioned, this is going to be kind of a two-part demo. We'll show some demos right here in the context of the deck, but then we'll take it outside and actually go into a live demo. So first, we want to show what topics looks like in Viva Connections. And Viva Connections, if you're not familiar with that, is what allows you to kind of bring your corporate intranet into the Viva Suite of family, bringing your intranet built on a modern SharePoint page, and then incorporating what they call the Viva dashboard into the all-up thing called Viva Connections here. So this is our Viva Connections homepage, and I can see a familiar topic highlight. When I hover over it, you can see Mark 8 there at the bottom. I can see the topic card for Mark 8. The topic card gives me the context I need with definitions, alternate names, experts, and resources that I can go to about the subject without opening a separate application or running a search. The knowledge found me. And if I need more information on this particular topic, I can just click the view details on the topics page, and then that will take me to the actual topics page here, where it provides more information or a more immersive view of all that information we had just seen on the topic card. I can review this information right from the topics page, and I can learn more about the topic here. I can see a definition and an image as I scroll down the page. And I can see the experts, resources, both pinned by those experts as well as one suggested by the AI. And I can also see suggested sites and a map of related topics that I might look at for even more information and context. I can also get topics easily from the news and articles that I find through all of Viva Connections here. So as I scroll down the page, I can see an article about a store opening. When I click on the news article, I can see a familiar topic highlights. And when I click on those, we can see the topic card for Rainier Project. And when I click project details. And when I do so, it brings me to the topic page for the Rainier project. Now let's take a look at how Viva Topics can enrich your employee experience inside Office. So I'm inside of a Word document, and if I click on the word Mark 8, as you see it here, I can see the option to search for Mark 8. So you can see it just shows up here in search for Mark 8. And when I click on that, I'll get that topic. I can now see the highlight in the right-hand application pane where I can see definitions and alternate names for that topic. And if I click on that pane, I'm brought to the topic page for that particular topic, right from within the context of Word. Now moving on to search. As we've talked about prior, search and Viva Topics are very tightly integrated, that the context or content the information that's indexed by Microsoft Search is also being utilized by Viva Topics. So Microsoft brings the power of the Microsoft Graph. Microsoft Search brings the power of the Microsoft Graph throughout all of Microsoft 365 into the search box. If I type Rainier into the search box, I can see some suggestions that show up for me automatically. And then once I click on search, I can see that the first return result is the topics page for the Rainier project. I can also see some of the AI in action here. For example, I'm asked if Megan Bowen is the correct expert for this particular topic. When everyone participates in reviewing the knowledge, those signals go back to the experts as well as the AI, and everyone can get the benefit from the feedback. It is essential to blend the best of human and technical developments for knowledge capture. Topics in Outlook will actually do this when we move into the live demo and take a look at that and how that works within Outlook. And now let's take a look at how a knowledge expert can update the information for a topic. Here, I can see a topic center pinned in the left-hand rail as an app inside Microsoft Teams. And then when I click it, I've launched into the topic center, and I can see a summary of the topics that are being suggested for me, as well as topics that are connected. When I click Manage Topics, link at the top of the page, I can see the dashboard showing me all of the knowledge that Viva Topics has suggested. I can see suggested, confirmed, published, and even removed topics. So now let's look at published topics. Here I can see topics that have already been published and shared to my organization. If I hover over Project Blue, I can see the topic card helping me confirm that what I want to work on matches my expectations. If I click View Details, it will take me to the topics page for Project Blue. Opening the topic page allows me to edit the topic by clicking the Edit button in the upper right. And here I can see alternate names that have already been used for the project, and I can even add my own here if I choose to. I can also edit the description, which has been captured for me by the AI. And additionally, since Viva Topics is built in SharePoint, I can leverage the great customization toolkit that Microsoft's developed for SharePoint over the past years. I can simply add a new web part here and browse a full gallery of things to enrich my page, whether they're videos, images, stock information, Twitter feeds, and more. When I'm done editing, I click the Republish button to publish the page back to the organization. Publishing the page makes my changes immediately available to anyone who needs to know more about Project Bloom. So now I'm going to jump into a live demo as I switch my screens here. There we go. All right, so I am now in a SharePoint page for a fictitious company, Contoso Electronics. So on the operations page, I've got a web page open called Expanding Our Business. And one of the things that you'll notice right here in the middle of the page, we have this word Digital Services Initiative, and it's got this underline on it. This is now a visual cue for me that this is a topic. And if I go ahead and hover over it, I will get a topic card pop up. And on this topic card, I see the name of the topic. I see any kind of abbreviations for the topic, a little bit of a description, some of the people that are associated with this topic, some of the resources, as well as any kind of related topics. And again, the AI engine, looking for feedback from you as an individual, will ask certain questions. And this particular one is asking, is the highlight correct? And if I want to improve, I can answer simply answer yes or no to this. But again, these are things that you will see as topics begins to work its way through the content in your organization and building out these topics cards and topics pages, that you will see these underlined topics appear throughout the different content that's there. So if I want to see more details about this particular topic, I will go ahead and click the View Details. And what this will do, this will bring me into my Topics Center. And then within the Topics Center, I can see I'm now on the Topics page for Digital Service Initiatives. This is the one we had just launched. So we can see it's got the alternate name of DSI, the description of it. We can see who the people are, a pin person. This means that this is somebody who is absolutely related to this particular topic. But the AI engine has also gone through and seen that there are some other people within the organization that may provide some context or some expertise around this particular topic. And why so? So you could see Isaiah, Joni, Megan, and Alex have all contributed resources that are part of the Digital Services Initiative. So the AI engine has called them as being suggested people. Documents that are out there and pages that are out there are also highlighted here. So we've got this PIN document. This is our Digital Services Initiative overview. So a knowledge manager has actually pinned this particular document as being one that's very important. But other documents and files suggested or from that particular topic are listed here as well. When going through, the AI engine will also look for sites that may have content or may have that particular term Digital Services Initiative associated with it, and the AI engine will make suggestions on particular sites that are out there. And lastly, related topics. And these are related topics that could have a confirmed relation or a suggested relationship. The suggested relationship will be identified by the AI and represented by a dashed line. Confirmed relationships will go through and then basically be ones that have been approved by a knowledge manager or somebody who's working on this. As mentioned, the AI engine will come back with a base topic page for each topic that it discovers, but a knowledge manager or somebody has the ability can go ahead and edit this. And I just want to give it a demonstration of going ahead and kind of editing this. So we have the alternate name of DSI. So if I wanted to add an additional name, I can certainly do so and add an additional name here for this. Big service init, just abbreviate that. You can do a short description. It's there. We can update that description. The different types that's out there. So this is an initiative. So say it's a project or it's some other type of description of what digital services initiative is. We can actually add additional tags or what they call types to this. So under our people, we have our suggested people. So let's just say that I want to say Megan is somebody also that I think is definitely associated. So I've just pinned Megan to this. I can also add people that aren't showing up as suggested people here as well. Going down to our documents, so we can see our digital service initiative overview is shown up as a pinned. But if I also wanted to pin, say, the executive summary, we can do that. And now that is also pinned up here as well. Namely, the pinned files and pages are ones that will definitely be highlighted and ones that have been identified as documents that are definitely part of that particular topic as acknowledged by a knowledge manager or person who is editing this. Come down here, you can add additional sites as pinned sites or as suggested sites. So I can actually pin a site as well. So just take our operation site, we can pin that. We can also add additional sites beyond just the suggested sites that the AI engine has come back with. And then related topics. So if I wanted to find another related topic, let's see if we can get this. There we go. So let's just say that the SOAR project is out there. You can actually, once you make that a related topic, you can give a reason why that's related. In this particular case, I'm going to say that it has the same project manager. So this shows how a knowledge manager can also go ahead and update a page. And one of the other things I just saw as I was popping up. So as you're over here in these related topics, as I hover over Account Management Council, again, I get the topic card for this particular topic. Same thing with Granite and SOAR. So you see this in the context of the topics here within this particular topics page, but if I have relations to other topics, I would get that topic card there. So I'm not going to save my changes. I'm just going to go ahead and discard my changes here. So now as far as managing topics, let's go to the Manage Topics screen. So you can see I have a whole list of topics. There are 91 topics here that for Contoso. This AI engine has been running for a couple weeks now to be able to curate the content that's out there. And you can see the various statuses that are out. We have 67 topics that have been suggested. When it's suggested, that is suggested by the AI engine. We have 22 that are confirmed, and 2 that have been published out to the entire organization. So it's a pretty simple process as far as being able to go through this. Again, I can go ahead and filter if I just wanted to see all those that are confirmed. I can do so. If I just want to see the ones that are published, I could do that here. But the main thing that you as a knowledge manager, somebody who's administering this, will come back and take a look at the ones that are being suggested by the AI engine. So let's just pick Rainier, for example. When you hover over it, it will show you the card that's out there and the information that that has been gathered. I can actually bring up that page if I wanted to look at this particular one. There is no description that has come through yet. The AI engine was not able to get anything particular for that. So you as a knowledge administrator would have to add that. But this is all from a suggested topic, and this is all the information that the AI engine was able to find. I can go ahead and edit and add my own information, update this, pin people, pin documents, add relationships, etc. I'm just going to go back to our topic page here, or on the topic center. So on that particular, on Rainier, you have some options as you come along here. I can actually confirm this, meaning that, yes, the AI engine has found the topic that I want to keep, so we can confirm it. And then once it's confirmed, I can go ahead and actually have some options to go ahead and review and publish. And if I go and review and publish, it will actually, again, take me into that edit page. And once I make those changes, I can then go ahead and publish it out to the entire organization. So coming back to the topic center, and if I mentioned earlier, I did mention earlier that you get one topic center per organization or per tenant. So the topic center is meant to be used by everybody and seen by everybody. So here I'm in as Nestor Wilkie. That is my fictitious name or persona that I'm using right now. And Nestor has on his homepage some various topics that have been identified as related to him one way or another. So this is where you can go ahead as an individual and say, hey, yeah, I want to be listed on this particular topic, or no, remove me. So this is, again, a good way, for you as an individual to get associated with topics based upon what the AI engine has been able to figure out, and then give feedback back to the AI engine as far as whether you are indeed the person that should be associated with that topic or not. I can just kind of scroll through those. So I talked about showing how topics can work in the context of mail. So now I am in Outlook. So I'm just going to go ahead and create a new mail. So I'm here as Nestor. So I'm going to send an email to Megan. Testing out Viva Topics. And the way we do that is by using the hashtag or #. If I do that, it will then bring up this drop down, and you can actually start typing in. You can see it will then start filling in different topics that are out there. So in this particular case, I'll bring up Digital Services Initiative. And then if I hover over it, I get that topics card that we had just seen. Just to show that again, hashtag, set up Digital Service Initiative. And that's how that tag comes out, or hashtag works. So if I go ahead and I send that, I will actually pop over into another window here. And here's Megan's mail. So Megan just got the email from Nestor. And if I hover over Digital Services Initiative, I get the topic card here, and I can go directly to the topics page if I wanted to as well, just by clicking the view details, and it will bring me to the topics page for that particular topic. Let's wait for that to pop up here. In the sake of time, we'll just pop back over here. And now lastly, I just kind of wanted to show you how you kind of get started with configuring Viva Topics for the first time. So I am in the brand new tenant that does not have Viva Topics. So I'm going to go ahead, and what I want to do is purchase services, but I'm not actually going to purchase a license for Viva Topics. What I'm going to do is actually go ahead and set up a trial, which you can do. Get started with the Viva Topics. We'll start a free trial. Just wait for this to complete, getting that trial started. And once that trial started, it will be brought into your tenant, and then I can go ahead and start assigning licenses as well. So now once it's in here, I'm going to go ahead into my organizational settings. Give it a minute here. Viva Topics should end up showing up here. Let's get a refresh. And there's Viva Topics has now shown up. So when you set up Viva Topics, it'll start taking you through a wizard. And this is where somebody who will be an administrator will have to go through this initial setup. This is where we'll set up what content Viva Topics is going to go ahead and start looking at for building, for the AI engine to start deriving its content from. So allow this page to load here. While we're waiting on that, what I'll do is I will go back into the other tenant that I have set up. I will show all. This is the one we have been working on. It already has it set up. I will go into settings, the org settings, coming down into Viva Topics. We'll bring up topics discovery. So this is the information when you go through the wizard, when setting it up, you'll be able to set it. So in this particular case, for the topic settings, you have the ability or sources. You can do all sites, which is recommended. That's how you get the most content. All except selected sites or only selected sites. And what you do, if you have selected sites, you can actually utilize a CSV file to put in the names of the various sites that you want to have the AI engine go through as part of Viva Topics, or you can select no sites. So we'll cancel out of that. You can exclude specific topics, and then you have some advanced settings of how you what you can do from an exclusion point of view. You can exclude based upon everybody or specific users. Topics visibilities, who can see topics? It could be everyone in the organization, only selected people, or no one. Some of the advanced settings here, all suggested topics or no suggested topics. Topic permissions, who can create and edit topics? Everyone in the organization, only select people, and no one. If you only select people, you will select individuals or groups there. Who can manage topics? Same kind of thing. Everyone or only select people within the organization. And then the topic center itself, when you go ahead and set up or create the topic center, you need to give it a name, as well as give it the address of where the topic center will be. In this particular case, I just click that. It will just bring up the topic center. Let's go back. Real quick, that's still loading. So we'll skip that. And then that's what I wanted to cover from the standpoint of demo. Let's come back here. And now on the demo you've just seen, Viva Topics creates those topics cards, topics pages using AI, which are curated by experts and collected inside those topic centers. Those topic pages are pulling information from the Microsoft Graph, and as soon as you'll be able to use the Microsoft Graph, based content connectors to reach out to and index over 100 different sources, as we had talked about earlier, not just for interactive search, but also for topics cards and topic pages. That content can also be further reached by Microsoft's related tool, Microsoft Syntax, which lets you build no-code AI models to recognize content, to extract key metadata such as tags, people, customer names, locations, facts, and figures. Microsoft Syntax makes content great for workflow, for search compliance, and also makes it a much richer source of information and knowledge. So some common scenarios that we'll talk about here. You may be wondering, what are some of those common scenarios that I should consider once Viva Topics is rolled out as targets to set in my organization. So there's 3 ways of thinking about this. First, Viva Topics helps you extend a common framework for describing your project, your industries, and your solutions to bring the company together. The second scenario is making sure that expertise, wherever it lives throughout the diverse workforce, whether there are people who are close to retirement or new to the organization, making sure that all of that collective knowledge can be captured and shared in the way that it improves employee experience throughout all parts of the life cycle. And the last common scenario was onboarding. Whether employees are onboarding to the entire company or to a new project, Viva Topics makes it incredibly easy to understand unfamiliar acronyms and to get up to speed when they're being supplied to you in the context as you need them, rather than having to ask people or move into a separate application. So some functional scenarios that we're talking about. So within HR, new employee and role onboarding, in content learning, M&A, mergers and acquisitions, and the all-up employee experience. From a sales and customer service perspective, you can have scenarios around sales enablement, product and service knowledge, customer knowledge base, as well as customer support and expertise. On an operations perspective, it's an all-up asset knowledge base, as well as process and procedure knowledge base, as well as on the product side, a knowledge network and service delivery. And this is just kind of deep dives into each of those, say on the HR side, is how Viva Topics can play a role in the employee onboarding and role onboarding as well. Same thing with in-context learning, enabling employees to learn about specific topics relevant to their jobs and within the flow of their work. From a sales perspective, being able to improve pursuit outcomes and reduce proposal production time by providing the salesperson with access to knowledge that they need to turn prospects into customers. Also from a sales point of view, helping employees learn about company products and services with easy access to product details, announcements, roadmaps, and a place to ask questions. Again, the customer knowledge base, helps sales executives, account managers, support and marketers serve customers in a more relevant and effective manner with the customer knowledge base. From an operations perspective, this assets knowledge base provides employees with one place to go to find a comprehensive and up-to-date information related to organizational assets. The knowledge network brings employees with common interests together in a topic to share knowledge, connect, learn, solve, and create together. And lastly, we'll just talk about kind of getting started. So up front, you may need to migrate some of your content from elsewhere into Microsoft 365 if you wanted to do that. You can do so by bringing that content in directly, maybe through a migration and so forth. Second, if you can't move that content, you can also potentially look at using one of those connectors, those graph connectors we had talked about. And lastly, you can also look at utilizing Microsoft Syntax. So these are just kind of the steps for preparing, getting that content ready, and then deploying it. And this is the various roles and people who will have a hand in kind of getting topics deployed out to the organization. So we get asked by our customers, what they're doing with topics, and many of our customer use cases have centered on these particular, these six scenarios: being able to bring project information together for people in a coherent fashion as people move on from other projects, expertise identification, just knowing who knows the most, that sales enablement piece, customer issues, and finally expressing competitive intelligence inside of content, where the organization has to learn more about what's going on inside and outside of the organization. So I hope you'll agree that Viva Topics can provide powerful knowledge sharing and discovery to any organization. These benefits are not just qualitative, but also quantifiable. Microsoft has done some work with Forrester Research to help understand the benefits that a typical organization can gain from a well-designed implementation of Viva Topics. And as you can see, there are substantial benefits to gain. Look at content classification, improving discovery, reduction of legacy tools, and accelerated onboarding time all provide the ability to see these valuable gains when using a tool like Viva Topics. So I've included here some links and resources. We'll be able to share these out with you as well. And if you're looking to kind of get started with Viva, this will be a plug for something we at Nudesic have developed. We call our Viva Deployment Accelerator, which allows organizations to kind of get started with Viva. starting off with a workshop, a fully funded workshop by Microsoft, and then moving into a pilot to get started with one or any combination of the Viva modules. So my contact information, again, my LinkedIn is here. My Twitter handle is @JeffGellman. You can reach me at Jeff.Gellman at jeff.gellman@nadesta.com. And lastly, now we just want to see if there's any questions.
No, I can't see any questions over here, but I I really enjoyed the session, and I saw that the little things which you covered, like in Viva Topics, you remember, like you showed us, like you can send the email also with the hashtag of the topic, and you can get into the site. It's really amazing, and
Oh,
but
yeah.
yeah, that's really I really enjoyed the session, and definitely it's very informative for us. And
Thank you,
but we
Pooja.
do need license, right, for this
Yes,
Viva Topics, right?
you definitely need the license for that. Viva Topics is one of the modules of Viva that does require licensing. So again, I think it was shown in the previous session. I think Microsoft is still running a promotion through the end of this calendar year, which is only a few weeks away, believe it or not, to allow you to get the full suite. I think it was $9 for the full
Yeah,
suite.
$9. Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw
so
that.
if you're looking at multiple versions of the or multiple modules, it would be certainly worth your while, given I think the individual modules themselves are somewhere between $4 and $5 per individual module. So if you're getting the full suite, that would be great.
Sweet. Yeah, that
So
includes Viva sites and other services as well, But
yeah,
there's no
so
way of any kind of free trial for a month or something like that, right? Uh,
if you work with us, we can do that. We've done that with a number of customers where you can get pilot licenses, trial licenses, if it's something that you're interested in doing. So yeah, so it's
yes.
not something you yourself, or, as an organization typically can go out and just do, aside from what I had just shown, which is you can actually go ahead and do that trial. If you saw when I was setting up Viva Topics, we set up a trial. So there is that limited trial that's available. But if you're looking for a more expansive type of thing, maybe like the pilot licenses and so forth, that is something that we as a partner can certainly be able to help an organization out with.
Of
So
course, yeah. It's really good. Yeah, I'm definitely going to register that.
you got it.
Definitely, yeah, I can see.
Great.
So, I mean, it's a great opportunity for everyone, to just play around with it. And I thank you so much
Thanks,
for
Pooja.
this.
So on the screen here, there's the QR codes for surveys, both for the full event as well as for this particular session. And don't forget, the last session of the day, they will be doing the raffle for this DS220 plus NAS, which is over $300 value. So again, I thank everybody. Thank you for attending. Appreciate the feedback, and look forward to hopefully speaking again in the near future.